Hey guys, I'm going to start off with using my MAC eye primer. And I'm going to put that all over my eye and my eyebrows. And then we're going to get into the Benefits pencil brush. I think it's in number 5. Yes, number 5. I'm going to just do one eyebrow that you see the direction that I'm going in. Okay, now we're going to get into setting the brow. With powder, I'm using Anastasia's brow powder. It's in ebony. And I'm going to use that to set the pencil brush and also get a little bit more definition to the brow. Okay, now I'm going to use a Anastasia's concealer. It's in 6.0. I'm using a MAC concealer brush, and I'm going to scope underneath my brow. Alright, now after that I'm going to spray my brush with some Caudalie spray and get some of the accents off. It's a little bit too wet. Then I'm going to just blend that on out. Alright, now I'm going to use MAC Paint Pot and Painterly. Okay, now we're going to use that beige color. We're going to go all over the eye to set the paint pot. Okay, now we're going to go into that purple color right there. This is the Viseart Grand Pro palette. This is the last look I'm going to do with this palette. Well, I'm going to use this palette again. I absolutely love it. But I'm going to stop the review here because I got another palette I want to look into. But yeah, just blending, blending, and blending. Alright, now I'm going into that pink color. I'm using a smaller brush and I'm going on top of the purple. I kind of seen how Mitchell does his blend out, and I kind of wanted to mimic that. Okay, now we're going to go into that dark bluish purple color, and I'm going to use that same brush to sculpt all the way over. I'm going to make sure that I go a little bit higher because when I sculpt out, I want to be able to see that color underneath it. All right, now I'm going to do the halo eye. I'm going to use Colourpop's Fair 5, and I'm going to use a cream concealer. I'm going to mix these two things together. Cream concealer by MAC. It's in a palette that they have all their concealers. There it is right there. I'm going to use the lighter color in there along with this concealer by Colourpop, and I'm going to sculpt just the center of the eye. Okay, so now we're going to use the white in the palette, and I'm going to put that on the center of my eye, and I'm just going to build it up. This color was amazing because I felt like it really, really stood out in this whole look. It just looked so pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to use Colourpop's eyeshadow. This is in Kimchi. I'm putting it on the inner and outer part of my eye. I felt like Mitchell used a blue. I really didn't know which one it was, but I thought that one was closer to it, so I went with that. After I put that on, I'm going to go into another color to blend that out and then go back into it again and then go into the white again. Okay, now I'm using that bluish purple color, and I'm using that with a very tight compacted brush. It's a MAC brush, I think, and I'm just using that to blend the outer part of the eye. And just blend it on in. I did use a shadow brush to help put the inner part in and also still use the brush as well. And I think I did a pretty good job with the recreation. It could have been a little bit darker. Okay, now I'm using the brush to do the inner part of the eye, and I think I used it also for the outer too a little bit. But I am going to go back into that kimchi colourpop color, and then I'm going to go back into that white. Everything is like a gradation. I want to make sure that everything's blend really nicely together. Here I am doing that, the kimchi color, and then I'm going to go back and do the white to make sure that pop in the center of the eye. Okay, this is Smashbox Primer Oil. I'm using MAC Strobe Cream, and I'm also using Touch of Soul Primer. Okay, foundation. I am using the Marc Jacobs Shameless Foundation. This is in Deep R550. I felt like this was a little too red on me. Again, I keep feeling um, like I'm in Hawaii or something. That would be amazing right now, but it just seems so red on me. Okay, so we're gonna get into concealer. I'm using the Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer. This is in dark, dark warm, and I'm using that to sculpt the sides of my nose and my chin and my forehead. And I'm going to blend that out with a beauty blender. And yeah, just conceal. Okay, now I'm using my Cover FX setting powder. This is in translucent deep, and I'm using that with a fluffy brush. I'm just gonna set that with the brush instead of my sponge, and just going over my nose, on the side of my nose, and my chin and my forehead. Okay, so now I'm using my Fenty Beauty contour stick. This is an espresso, and apparently I'm having me a good time. I think this is when I first heard the Carly B new album. I am feeling it. So I sprayed the brush with my Caudalie spray, and then I'm going to just blend that out with that foundation brush and try to get some of my forehead. I have my wig on already. Um, oh shoot, I had a good time there. So we're just gonna keep blending and blending and blending, and making it look very, very pretty. All right, now I'm going to use that setting powder, and I'm going underneath where my contour line is, just to make it look more straight and real sculpt. Now I'm going to use my Smashbox contour powder, and I'm going to just set where I put that cream at, cream, and yeah, just sculpt it on out. All right, now I'm going into my Bare Minerals Bare Pro palette. This is Truffle 29, and I'm just going to use that to set the whole face. Okay, now I think I'm using the KKW Rose Gold um, pigment, and I'm using that on my brow bone, and I think I put it on my nose and my forehead. Yeah, I think that's what I used. Yep, that's what I used. The rose gold um, pigment by KKW. And it turned out really pretty. It's not over the top shiny, but it's really pretty. Okay, now I'm using Darkly My Dear. It's a matte blush from MAC, and it was from I think the Villains collection from MAC. So bye. Hope you liked it. Okay, guys. I didn't know if I did an intro to this. This is my look 2. No, this is my 3rd look with the Viseart palette. I used everything in here. Not everything, just one thing I went outside the palette. I used like basically these, that, and this white, which is amazing. Wasn't really a lot of kick up from it, and it was really pigmented. It's on the center of my eye. And I used this right here all over my lid, and then these 2 right here on my brow bone. Then I added a little bit of NARS. No, not NARS. I used this KKW rose gold on my brow a little bit, and also highlighted with that on my cheeks. So this is my 3rd look. I'm going to end my review of this I keep saying I am going to end the review of this palette with 3, but I did do my passport photo. I used this palette, and I did another look that was very neutral, very, I'm trying to look at my phone because I have everything on my Instagram what I used. Yeah, that's 1, 2. My passport photo will be 3, and I think I used a little bit of this palette when I did another neutral look, but I used some shimmer on my lid. I used this palette and just found the shimmery color to put on my lid. So I'm going to end it right here. We're going to end it here because I want to get into other, I have another palette, and I feel like I will be using this palette again. I like this palette. It's really nice. The mattes are amazing. How's this one? Is that on my lip? These mattes were amazing. They worked amazingly. It was kick up in the palette, but it was still really good. This is like really worth it. If you are a natural, you don't want over the top type of looks, this is perfect. If you have, you know, these brights up in here are amazing, and even these darker ones as well, because you see I used this. I also used Kimchi from Sugar Pill eyeshadow just on the inner and like the inner part and the outer part up into, you know, spacing in the white, because I felt like this color would be perfect to mimic what this other artist did, so I can somewhat get what he did. But I think his is more smokier than mine, so I could have added a little bit of this darker purple right here to make it a little bit more darker on the outers, because it's more like a smoky eye, but with more of a pop. In the center, I could have used a shimmery color, you know, like a shimmery white, really, you know, make it blinding right in the center. But I just wanted to use mostly mattes and what was in this palette. I've never seen mattes act like these mattes. This white was amazing. I feel like all of these colors work together amazingly. Like I can mix, like I've mixed these 2 colors together and come up with my own type of purple. Add in another color, you done made a different type of purple. It's so many things I feel like I can do with this, a dark eye to something bright, and because I can mix these colors with the lighter colors and make my own color. Like, this is legit amazing. This is something it's for artists, you know. you don't have to be an artist to play around with it, but I feel like for a makeup artist, this is an amazing palette. For a person that's just, you know, do their own makeup, this is an amazing palette. Especially if you, I feel like if you just want one palette and you don't want to mess with every single thing, I would get this, and I would get like some Makeup Forever shimmery metallic eyeshadows, and they come in like a pan of 3, or now they got the palettes, but different bigger palettes. I would just get those shimmery and these and just work it on out. I think this will be perfect to travel with. I kind of want to travel with this this palette, because I'm not trying to do nothing over the top. I actually would travel with this one and maybe, yeah, maybe like this palette right here. Or just like a shimmery palette, like even this one. You know, just so if I want to do something with more glitter to it or whatever, like this will work really well for it. Just those 2 palettes, I feel like I have so many ideas and looks with this. This is amazing, and I will be going periodically back into this this palette. This is really amazing. It's so hard. I think this white is better than the white that was in the other palette, the editorial one. I think this white is better than that one. So, and it's not as chalky. It's not chalky, and it didn't have a lot of kick up in the pan either, but it laid down so perfectly. So I am all go for the viseart Grande Pro palette. If they still have any more, I would get this. This is really nice. I want to get into the crayon case palette and play along with that. I'll probably, you know, I'm gonna try to do one look, which is everything that's in there, and then maybe add other things to it, because it's such a bright palette. And since I love this so much, I'll probably mix, you know, start off with these colors and then with that. But yeah, I cannot wait to get into that palette. So I really enjoying this look. So bye till next time, and thank you for watching.